We've now reached the part of the discourse where Republicans are so hell-bent on feeling like victims that they are now blaming the weather for being anti-Trump. A meteorologist at the Washington Post just posted, DC will be hotter than 99% of the planet on Friday. Only parts of Africa's Sahara Desert, the Middle East, China's Gobi Desert, and a few spots in the desert Southwest will be hotter. To which one MAGA diehard, Kylie Jane Kremer, responded, I'm telling y'all that someone with an extreme case of TDS geoengineered this weather in DC, same way they geoengineered Trump's inauguration to be one of the coldest in US history. People with TDS hate Trump more than they love America. Along with this very discerning follow-up, ping-pong-sized hail, 50-mile-per-hour winds, and ground lightning where Trump is set to speak in South Dakota in Mount Rushmore in celebration for America's 250th birthday. But it's not geoengineering. TDS is real and destroying America. Now, I'm going to be honest, I read that and I thought, this cannot be a real person. This has to be a parody account, right? Yeah, no, it's not. Kremer is a right-wing political activist and the executive director of Women for America First, which is a nonprofit organization she co-founded with her mother, Amy Kremer. She's a prominent figure in the Stop the Steal movement, having created the original Stop the Steal Facebook group in November 2020 to spread false claims about election fraud, which became one of Facebook's fastest growing groups before being shut down for inciting violence. She was named on the permit for the January 6, 2021 Stop the Steal rally in the ellipse that preceded the insurrection at the US Capitol. In other words, she is a lifer, a diehard. This is what being a Trump supporter apparently does to your brain. Makes you faster blame the deep state controlling the weather because the God King is that much of a victim. Now, before I get into the politics of this, I want to offer something of a PSA. Guys, if you have family members who sound like this, please, for the love of God, get them off the internet. It is breaking their brains. Take them outside. Let them breathe fresh air. Touch some grass. Talk to a human neighbor. And I say this as somebody who works online, who relies on people being online to consume my content. It's not worth it. Log off. Be a normal human. Trust me, coming from somebody who spends way too much time online, it's not healthy. We can all benefit from being out in the real world some more, but especially when you start to view the weather as a bioweapon against your cult leader. Just a quick note here to say that if you appreciate my work, which is and always will be 100% free, a small ask is if you could please pre-order my new book, The Day After, which explores how Democrats must finally wield power if they're fortunate enough to get it back. I'll also be on tour in DC, New York, and LA mid-July. You can grab tickets to the tour and you can pre-order the book at the same link, which I'll put on the screen and in the post description of this video. You can also find them at briantylercohen.com/book. Again, I'll never paywall a single piece of content, but this is the one time that I'll ask for some support for a book that I really think meets this moment. Thanks so much. But of course, we shouldn't be surprised that one of Trump's most ardent fans cares so much about ensuring that he gets his daily fix of attention, considering that is also the thing that Trump himself cares about most. Just yesterday, when it was storming and downpouring in DC, this is what Trump took to Truth Social to say. Quote, storms bring luck to whatever occasion. They also make events a little bit more exciting. We will wait it out. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning or in 1 hour from now. Looks like it's going to pass. They always do. I will be there no matter what. But the what usually turns out to be a good thing. It's Saturday night. Let's have some fun. Even if we're out late tonight, they say 11 o'clock for the speech. Who cares? Why? Because lest you forget, it's all about him. So if the crowds of people have to sit and wait in pouring rain, then damn it, that's what Trump is going to have them do. And that is exactly, by the way, what happened. This is from MS Now's Vaughn Hilliard.
William.
I guess. I really hope we're not going up the street.
Que por allá se
Not at the moment. Is it mayhem? Yes. But does Donald Trump care if it means he gets to consolidate as much attention as possible? You know the answer to that question. All of which was, in my opinion, perfectly emblematic of how Trump views every holiday, but especially the 4th of July holiday. As far as he was concerned, it was not to put the attention on the 250th birthday of America, not to celebrate our people, our accomplishments, our history, our advancements, our diversity, our culture. No, he views this holiday not similarly to all other days as a moment for him to bestow his greatness upon us. No matter how much suffering people have to endure, he will ensure that all eyes will be on him no matter what it takes. And his supporters have clearly internalized as much, which is why they deploy themselves as little minions, insisting that when dear leader is inhibited in any way, then someone must be to blame. He must be the victim of sabotage, must be the target of an attack at the hands of whoever controls the weather, which I suppose doesn't bode too well for the Jews. And it's not just insane claims about the weather. Here's another example of Trump straight up conning his biggest advocates, only to steal money right from out of their pockets.
These are two investors into the Trump coin, and these are Trump supporters. If Trump was putting his name behind it, it must be a legitimate investment. This is a woman who spoke to Reuters. She put $2,000 of her savings into the Trump meme. At the end of May, her Trump holding was worth less than $120. She now thinks it was just a pump and dump scheme. The second investor, Matt, a 45-year-old machinist in Indiana, put $40,000 into Trump family tokens. When a stock has presidential backing in a way, at least from his sons, you would think it would go up. Matt's shares have dropped 79% in value since he bought them for a loss of about $32,700. He does not blame the Trump family. He said he believes Democrats and anti-Trump investors are taking short position.
And still, they won't blame him. He is literally robbing them. And yet it must be the Democrats. Again, this is a movement of people who are fundamentally unwell. It would be bad enough to fall for Trump's lies, but so much worse when he is actively fucking over his biggest fans and manipulating them into thinking that he's not. It is outright contempt for his own audience. So if you don't want to be conned, then I implore you, for the love of God, avoid the GOP like the plague, because these people will stop at nothing to make you think that they're the victims, when in fact they are directly responsible for creating the environment where everyday Americans can suffer, while the rich and well-connected thrive. And they rely on the gullible falling for it every single time. Before you go, I'm very excited to announce that I've written a new book titled The Day After: How to Wield Power in a Post-Trump World. The book explores what is, in my opinion, the single most important theme that we're dealing with in politics today and moving forward: power. Specifically, how Republicans abuse it and how Democrats refuse to wield it. This book explains how we got here and, more importantly, how we should finally wield power if we're fortunate enough to get it back. It is the blueprint for progressives who want to do far more than just restore the status quo. Please pre-order today by visiting the link in the episode description or go to briantylercohen.com/book. You can grab yours from any of the major retailers like Amazon or Barnes & Noble, or find an independent bookstore closest to you that's also listed on that website. Thanks so much for supporting independent media.